Okay, I think I'm live, and if I am, welcome to the Gold News Channel. My name is Kerry Stevenson, and this is Making Money Matters, or is it Making Mining Matter? Maybe it's Making Mining Matter. Anyway, I can't see anyone on the live yet. I think I've gone a little bit too early, but never mind, it's all good. I'm here, you might be able to see. I'll go this way and then the wind's in the other direction. I'm here on the beautiful Hayman Island Resort, Intercontinental, and I've been at the Hancock Prospecting Conference for the last couple of days. I know, poor me. When you jump on, please say hi, but I am coming to you. I said somewhere from Australia, within Australia, but actually it is the beautiful Hayman Island Resort, and I'm going to get out of the wind because it is a little bit windy here on the beach. It is Tuesday afternoon, slightly earlier than I normally do it, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I've learned over the past couple of days being here at the conference, because today is National Mining Day. So welcome to this week's live on National Mining Day, coming to you from Hayman Island. And as I said at the start, my name is Kerry Stevenson, and today we've heard from a number of speakers talking about the importance of mining and agriculture, as I step up, mining and agriculture to our country, to our wealth, and to everything else that we do. So I've got to turn around again because the wind is hideous. Okay, there we go. So tell me when you jump on if you can hear me. But let me tell you, everything in this country and everything that we do is either mined, grown, or fished. Mined, grown, or fished. And right now our country and our mining industry is under attack. It's under attack from the loonies that turn around and say that mining is a bad thing and that we shouldn't have mining because it's not good for the climate and it's not good for what we do and how we live our lives. Well, unfortunately, mining is everything, as is agriculture. And this conference is all about mining and agriculture-related industries. And so I wanted to just bring to you a couple of highlights. One of them was that Mrs. Reinhardt, who is a passionate supporter of this industry, both agriculture and mining, she tells us that it's time that we stood up, it's time that we became vigilant, and it's time that we understood the importance of this industry to the wealth not just of individuals, but the wealth of our country and the security of our country, because mining is what has built Australia over many, many years. It's what's built the wealth, it's what built Melbourne during the gold rush, and it will continue to build wealth for Australia, but not if we continue to have the enormous red tape and the enormous number of issues and red tape and blue tape, and as Professor Ian Plimer recently said, black tape, that is put in our way and makes us unable to do our jobs properly in this sector. And I, for one, I'm passionate about this industry. Why? Because it gives so many jobs and so many opportunities, not just to people like myself, but to our children, our children's children, and future generations of wealth in Australia. So it's time, ladies and gentlemen, that we as Australians stood up and made some noise and celebrated instead of apologising for our wonderful industry. For those of you that look at me and say it's really bad that I work in the mining industry and that it is doing incalculable damage to our environment, well, how do you think we're going to get to net zero? How do you think we're going to get to all these electric cars and the electrification of the world that we keep talking about? Because if you don't have mining, you're not going to have any of those things. And so I think it's about time that we started to celebrate, we started to support, and we started to call out those people that don't really understand what it is that mining does for our country and for our future. And Matt Canavan came on today, and he was actually saying that he feels it's time that we, oh, it's really windy. I've got to get out of this wind. Sorry guys, I got into a real wind patch here. So let me see if I can get around. Terrible, isn't it? I'm coming to you from Hayman Island. Oh look, I found a beautiful little cabana. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Ah, out of the wind. There we go, that's much better. All right. So Matt Canavan was saying today that if you don't have energy security, you don't have national security. And that government and industry need to work in collaboration and not against each other, because when mining and agriculture do well, Australia does well. And that's why I just want people to understand we seem to have this massive disconnect at the moment with the majority of Australians who live in cities that look at what's going on, don't understand there's a massive disconnect, that they think that, I don't know, their mobile phone comes from Telstra and their electric car is not run by coal, because that's where the electricity is coming from at the moment. And I know that there's a transition that needs to be, that needs to take place. I get that. And we in the mining industry are very well aware of that. The innovations, the technology, the things that are happening that I've heard about just over the last couple of days, not just in agriculture, but also in mining. The technology that these industries are doing is fantastic. It is such a different industry from what it was even 10 years ago. They are passionate about the environment. They are passionate about the world we live in. And Mrs. Reinhardt is a passionate explorer of giving wealth back to Australia, jobs to Australians, and having a vibrant and healthy mining and agricultural sector. That's why I'm here on Hayman Island. Yes, it is absolutely stunning, and I feel very blessed, and that's the outlook from where I am at the moment. So I am absolutely blessed to be here, but I wanted to make sure, I told you I'll always come on Tuesday and do a live for you. But I want all of you that are listening to this, and maybe listening to this wherever you are in the world, but whether it's today, tomorrow, or even next week, but if you come across this video, if you listen to this video, stand up, fess up, shout out, and turn around and start to support our sector. Our mining and our agriculture industries need our help, because right now they are under attack. They are under attack not just from those that seek to have wind farms and solar farms be the answer to all our prayers of these increases in energy that we're seeing right across the world, but even here in Australia. They're saying in the next 2 years, our energy prices will be going up by 56%. Now, why is this happening? In a country like Australia that has so many resources at its hands, the reason that it's happening is because we have had massive underinvestment from industry and from people looking at it and saying, well, we don't want to invest in the mining industry. And because of that, we don't have strong gas supplies. There's a disconnect between demand and supply. It's going to take years to fix this. That is why I'm passionate about us all standing up and turning around and saying, enough is enough. Australia is a resource-rich country, and it is here to create wealth, not just for those that work in the mining sector, but all across Australia. That is where the wealth will come from. Now, a couple of other things that came out of the last couple of days is the technology that they're using and starting to use in the sector is amazing. And it is changing things. There's a lot of things such as autonomous trucks, in agriculture, GPS tracking of cattle, the ability to ensure that cattle are well looked after. But again, I'll go back to what I said a moment ago. There is a disconnect from those that live and work in cities and those that work in our sectors, the mining and the agricultural sectors. And I think that that's something that needs to change. We need to start to educate more people. You know, I don't want to see my children and my children's children turning around and saying to me, mining's bad, can't happen. If you're out there and you're going to buy an electric vehicle, it's going to be powered by electricity. The electrification game is going to be crazy, because there is no such thing as having all of these electric cars without mining. The electrification journey is here. Where is the power going to come from to power all those electric vehicles? We need more energy supply, and we need to produce more gas, more energy to bring prices down. Now, in this country right now, the government is addicted to red tape. And because of that, what we're seeing is that investment into projects here in Australia, they're looking elsewhere. They're looking to places not necessarily in Australia, because it takes too long to get projects done here in Australia. So they'll look to Canada, they'll look to South America, maybe they'll look to Africa. But we've got to stop the red tape. So what am I saying here? I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm coming to you live. I want to make sure that we start to support the Australian mining industry more than we ever have before. I want us to be brave. I want us to stand up and speak out. I want us to understand that the mining industry is facing unprecedented challenges. The approvals process is slowing down. The attacks on all of this is real, and it's happening, and the support of the mining industry is now more important than it has ever been. Did you know, a couple of facts before I go into companies of the week and book of the week, 70%, that's right, 70% of Australian exports are due to mining, and that mining employs over 1 million people. So we need to build relationships. We need to build up the industry. We need to be proud of the industry. Right now, the government of Queensland is spending $60 billion. That's right, $60 billion is being spent on the renewable energy rollout in Queensland. And if you think that people seem to have got a disconnect here as well, which is, where does that money comes from? It comes from you, the taxpayer. Government money comes from the taxpayer. Well, also comes. Oh, my phone's talking to me. Never mind. So, what I want to do is I want you to say, let's be more patriotic. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Let's be a lot more patriotic than we have been. This country was built on the back of sheep and the back of mining. So let's start being patriotic. Let's go back to our roots, which is mining and agriculture. That's where I am here at the moment. Mrs. Reinhardt is a massive supporter of this industry. Many times she gets taken down, she gets bullied, she gets harassed, because in Australia we have something called the tall poppy syndrome, and I've had enough of it. So from now on, I'm going to be doing big shout outs about the industry, and as Mrs. Reinhardt said, be vigilant, and at least once a day spend 5 minutes saying something. All right, let's get on to quickly the book of the week, because hey, I'm on Hayman Island, so I'm not going to talk for long today. Jokes and joys. Jokes and joys. Stay happy, stay young, stay positive. This is a collection of short stories, and it was dedicated to somebody's mum. Can't remember, but I bought the book here, and I'm going to read one paragraph from this book that I want you all to have a listen to. This was stated way back in 1931. So back in 1931 by Dr. Adrian Rogers. Here we go. You cannot legislate the poor into freedom by legislating the wealthy out of freedom. What one person receives without working for, another person must work for without receiving. The government cannot give to anybody anything that the government does not first take from somebody else. When half the people get the idea that they don't have to work because the other half are going to take care of them, and when the other half gets the idea that it does no good to work because somebody else is going to get what they work for, that, my dear friends, is about the end of any nation. You cannot multiply wealth by dividing it. How profound is that after what I've just been talking about? That was stated by Dr. Adrian Rogers back in 1931, just before the Great Depression. Okay, folks, I am not a financial advisor. I am not an accountant. This is not financial advice. But here's a couple of companies that I'm looking at the moment that I think are grossly undervalued and are worthy of some attention. But as always, please do your own research. The first one is Emerson Resources, run by the wonderful Rob Bills up there in the Northern Territory. Massive gold hits, finding copper, finding gold, a tight register, and a joint venture. But I think with a company that's going to fund everything up until the decision to mine. Great little company. The ASX code is EMR. Another one that I like at the moment, which is run by Alex Scanlon, is Barton Gold down there in South Australia. They've got the Tomingley and the, I forgot the other project, but never mind. BGD is the code. Fantastic little company. Had a little bit of a run up since I last spoke to you all about it. What else? Pac Gold is coming out with some good announcements. I think that right now, with the saga of FTX, I spoke about it last week, the demise of FTX, all these crazy schemes that are out there, these get-rich schemes, it is time to go back to real assets and real value. And by that I mean real assets, hard assets. I'm talking mining sector, I'm talking agriculture sector, I'm talking property, I'm talking things that you can touch, feel, get your hands on, and you understand the business from. That's what I'm talking about. So I would encourage all of you to be very cautious of a get-rich-quick scheme. I'd be very cautious of things like FTX, where the guy turned around. I found this quite amusing. The guy turned around and his name was, I said this last week, Sam Bankman-Fried. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, well, he wasn't banked, but he was probably fried. Anyway, FTX, which was worth $32 billion. $32 billion. He goes out and he says, you know what? I want you guys to give me $500 million, but I'm not going to open my books for you to see anything, and you're just going to do it my way. And you know what these investors did? They opened up the books, they gave him $500 million of their investors' money. Where do you think that is today? Poof! Up in smoke. Gone. Now, things that you can do to make yourself understand this is be diversified. I'll say it again. Make sure you are diversified. Right now, the markets are a little bit crazy. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I do know this. If you have a diversified portfolio, and I don't mean 100% in the share market, I mean some in the market, some in the share market, have some gold. My exposure to gold has gone up from about 15% to more like 30% right now, and that's in different ways. If you have some spare capacity, then make sure you open a Rush Gold account and put some. Now, if you open a Rush Gold account using my link and you purchase $300 worth of gold, you will get some extra gold. That's for the next couple of weeks. So I'll talk to you more about that. If you want that information, send me an email to Kerry, Kerry, at goldevents.com.au. I'll send you the link. But listen, just be cautious out there. At the moment, things are a bit crazy. The lithium price is coming down. So again, don't put all your eggs in one basket, and have a little bit of cash on the side. I'm not certain, but it feels to me like we might have a little bit of a hiccup before the markets stabilize. All right, that's it from me for now, because I have got a gala dinner to go to. If you check back on the website, I'll probably put a little compilation together over the next few weeks so that you can see. But for now, let's finish this off with a little bit of a view from the one and only Hayman Island Resort, Intercontinental, cockatoos in the background, beautiful infinity pool, which I'm going to show you in 2 seconds. I feel very blessed. Oh, I can't open the bloody gates. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. I was trying to open the wrong side of the gate. All right, check out the infinity pool before I say goodbye to you all. There it is. There's the infinity pool. It's it's kind of nice, and I'm just going to go across to Bam Bam and have a glass of wine. So that's it from me. Make sure you'll be careful. Don't be crazy in these markets, and make sure you have some gold and some silver. So for now, signing off. See you next time, 1 week's time, but I won't be back on Hayman. Be back in Queensland. No, I won't. No, I won't. I'll be in Sydney. I'll see you then. I'll be coming to you from Sydney next Tuesday. Bye for now.